All right, the Nigeria's insurance sector is set for major reforms, the first in recent years. On Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu signed the new Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Bill of 2025 into law. Now, the new legislation repeals, replaces, and consolidates many outdated insurance laws into a single framework. The bill provides for stringent capital requirements of insurance firms, compulsory insurance policies, digitization of the sector, the creation of a dedicated policyholder protection funds, among other key provisions. So how should investors prepare and position for the horizon now set for the sector by Mr. President? Let's bring on my guest on this, Johnson Chukwu, Group Chief Executive Officer at Cowrie Asset Management. We thank you for joining us this evening to discuss this development. And just for you find a way, there's a way in which you get to come into the show anytime there is money on the street. Today, there's something about you and making money. This insurance sector grew today roughly 10%, broadly speaking. And that's taking a cue from Mr. President. Give me your views. What are the views today from Market Street on the new sector reform bill signed by Mr. President yesterday?
Wilson, thank you for having me. Let me start from saying that. Let me start by saying that. In the first place, this morning, a couple of my customers called me and said, is it a time to go into insurance stock? I said, yes. Once you are buying insurance stock that have strong or good leadership and management, that this policy will engender higher level of confidence in the insurance sector, as well as support more business on more underwriting activities of underwriting business for the insurance companies. Of course, some of the provisions, such as the compulsory insurance, will make it imperative that virtually every insurance company that is doing well will have higher level of business activities to underwrite. So clearly, you can see that what happened in the market today. The market the sector almost grew 10% because investors are all running to that sector to take positions because the new law will clearly enable that sector to grow beyond what it was.
So is this bill market and insurance sector positive? We've seen consolidation in this sector before. So before today or yesterday, we've seen a rally in insurance stocks over the past couple of months. So somehow, some folks perhaps like yourself got an idea there's a new bill coming, isn't it? Or deep pocket investors.
Well, not just us. I mean, this bill was sent to the National Assembly in 2024. So anybody who was following the development industry would have known that even prior to that, the previous leadership of Nigerian National Insurance Commission had tried to implement regulations that embody some of the attributes of this bill. So it was long in coming, and anybody who was observing that industry would have noticed that there is no way that the regulation guiding or the overriding regulation or the major regulation for that industry wouldn't have changed. If you consider the fact that the banking industry has gone through some level of capitalization, we are now dealing with a banking sector where national banks used to have 25 billion, they now need to have 200 billion. So everybody knew that the insurance industry would be the next in line. But most importantly, the insurance industry had failed to develop because of some of the constraining factors that have now been lifted by this new act. Issues around capitalization. Of course, if you look at that capital requirement under that act, there is a provision of about 25 billion for non-life insurance, 15 billion naira for life insurance underwriters, and 45 billion naira for reinsurance companies, which is a reasonable level of capitalization compared to where they were coming from. And then some of the issues about claims payment, where the new law says that the NICOM will enforce claims payment. There is a provision that every insurance company must keep 10% of its shareholders for a share capital in a reserve with the central bank, which will make it easy for NICOM to ensure that where there is a default in claim payment, that can be activated from that. And then there is issues around digitalization, which clearly the industry has to adopt, because without digitalization today, you're not going to be competitive in any sector of the global financial market. So these things are clearly what we were expecting, and they are what will drive or engender improved investor trust in that sector. But most importantly, enhance the insured confidence in taking up policies.
Okay, so how should I position for the implementation of this new bill if I'm if I'm an investor? Is it too late to get in there, getting on the game?
No, it's not late. It's not too late. It's not even late. I mean, today is the first day post the signing of that bill into law, and you saw what the market did. I'm sure the market will still rally further tomorrow and then maybe Friday. So, and remember, the market can gain 10% in a single day. So if you go in and you choose wisely, because you must bear in mind that when the tide is high, it lifts every boat. So it may not be every underwriter that may be a good investment outlet for you. So you have to choose wisely. If you choose wisely, you could still make reasonable level of capital gain. But bear in mind that even investment in equities is a long-term investment. It's not just always let me nose in and nose out. You should be planning for when the full impact of this act will crystallize. And that's for what any equity investor should be looking at. It's not just how much capital gain am I going to make this week. It should be what will I gain from being a strategic investor in the insurance industry in the medium to long term, 3 years time from now, 5 years time from now. What value would my investment will have created for me? So that should be the focus of.
Okay, so what should be expected from a recapitalization exercise of the insurance sector? Are there any learning curve from the previous exercise? It's almost 20 years ago when the major one happened immediately on the back of the Soludo's banking sector consolidation. That finished 2005. Then, of course, the insurance followed just a few months after.
Yes, I mean, one of the things we are going to learn, which I think will happen this time around, the NICOM and Central Bank, because they have involved Central Bank by requesting that for new insurance companies or companies are recapitalizing, they need to keep 50% of the capital, the stipulated capital with the Central Bank. And then upon getting their license, they will, the Central Bank will authorize Central Bank to return 80% of the 50% they kept with Central Bank. So which means one of the lessons is that we're going to see that genuine capital is injected into the industry. It's no longer paper capital that happened in many instances when the industry was recapitalized almost 20 years ago, about 18 years ago. So that's one factor. And I'm also sure that NICOM will be very stringent in assessing and appraising the investors and accepting their investment. They will ensure that there's no hot money that comes in and that no borrowed money goes into recapitalizing the insurance companies. So if we do that, you're going to have genuine capital, which should give the insurance companies the capacity to pay claims whenever they arise. And also, there are also stipulations on reserves that insurance companies must keep for unexpired policies and several other reserves that insurance companies must keep to ensure that they maintain strong financial and solvency positions.
For you, as someone who's been on the street, those points you highlighted seem to be a standout point that's different from what we've had in the past. This join at the hips, allowing the central bank to ensure that there is real money coming for the consolidation, capitalization, and not, like you said, paper money that we saw in previous exercise. So something good in there. And of course, if claims are not paid, there's money sitting with the central bank to ensure that happens. You think this should be welcomed by Nigerians, individuals, corporate entities, looking at claims in that particular sector? Just to summarize the conversation with you.
Yes, I mean, that's why the market reacted so positively, because the market investors actually welcomed it positively. The next thing is the insurance public must have to accept this as one of the ways that will turn around the sector. The greatest challenge we have had with insurance last in mind is growth, is the issue of claims payment. Once you are confident that when they suffer a loss, you'll be indemnified, there is higher probability you will want to take up covers. And then federal government, by signing this act into law, has also made it imperative that those compulsory policies people have to take them on, like insurance policies like motor policy, like workman compensation, like fire insurance for public buildings, and several other compulsory insurance that will enhance the revenue of insurance companies. So I think two things will happen. The insuring public will now have more confidence that their claims will be paid, and then they will have a compelling need to insure their assets and insure their lives. That's one factor. And then the insurance company will have a lot more resources, which will enhance the investable funds in the economy, the pool of savings in the economy. And savings is what they require to stimulate investment and stimulate economic growth.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for raising the curtain on this conversation. I'm sure we've got days and months ahead to further digest this. Thank you so much, Johnson Chukwu, for, as always, coming in to discuss this with us, the Group CEO at Carrier Asset Management. Have a great evening and wish you all the best.